So, as you guys may know, two things about me. I like weed, I like video games. I enjoy me a good video game. In my opinion, that's like movies for me. I like me a good story, single player. I like getting on with my friends and talking. It's mainly a social thing for me, which sounds kind of crazy. Trust me, I go outside, I do things, but I have a lot of friends overseas, as a lot of you guys may know in Belize, and that's our way of being able to communicate, right? So recently, if you haven't heard about it, folks, there was a YouTuber named Accursed Farms, and he was doing something to help the gaming community because, as a lot of you may know, and it's not even video games, a lot of you might start to realize that physical copies of media is becoming more and more scarce for people. When you purchase media now, it's almost as if the server goes down, you can't have it anymore. For example, like a movie that you used to buy on DVD, you now own it on Netflix, for example. And now for some reason, Netflix pulls their servers and you can't get that one movie because it only came out on Netflix and the servers are down and you no longer have any physical copies. Even game consoles, they're selling them without CDs, and companies are taking advantage of that. Now, I'm not very versed in all the practices. There's a lot of gamer YouTubers out there who break this shit down. But basically, a YouTuber named Accursed Farms began an initiative that was called Stop Killing Games. Because now, just like that example I gave, the industry can now pretty much sell you a game and say you only have the rights to the game. But if they take the game back down, you can no longer play it. That in a nutshell, that's crazy to me. So say I spend $60, soon to be like 80 and 90 because the prices of games are going up. So say I spend like $90 for this online game, and a lot of people like to reference The Crew because they had taken that game off the internet. Say I pay this money for this game, and the game doesn't do good, and now the game's taken off. I spent the money, but the game is no longer playable to me. That sounds like a scam a little bit, right? So you have people going around saying, well, if I can't own the game that I buy, then piracy isn't illegal and stuff like that. Because people are mad that companies can now just shut down service for a game that they paid for. As opposed to in the past, you could just buy a game for your PlayStation 3 and you'll have that CD for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if the company went under or if this and that, you will always have that physical game, right? So basically the initiative Stop Killing Games is pushing to have companies held accountable to having end of life processes for a game that they're going to sunset. Basically forcing companies to have accountability of their game after selling it to you. That's my understanding of it. But to further clarify, I'm going to show you exactly what Accused Farms had to say about it.
As a refresher, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement to stop publishers from effectively destroying video games they have already sold to customers.
And that's the kicker right there. So whatever they do from that point is their responsibility. So I don't have all the answers, but that is their responsibility after selling that game. Now that we live in this digital world that things can be taken off the internet, servers can be taken offline, there needs to be some type of accountability for the people who already purchased it, right? It seems absolutely reasonable, right? And also, shout out another YouTuber I watch all the time. His name is Penguins01. Go check him out. He brought this story up, and I saw it from his video first. And I wanted to talk about it. I got most of the clips from his video, so make sure you go check out his video as well. But basically, this was an initiative that gamers were pushing to have. It sounds amazing, right? It just is almost like modern times require modern solutions. This is something that needs to be added as time moves forward. Well, there was this one YouTuber, and this is like the main focus of the video. There was this one YouTuber that came into the mix named Pirate Software. Huge. He has like 2 million subscribers or something. And he absolutely shitted on the initiative. Now, the background of this YouTuber, he's a game developer and a self-proclaimed coder and hacker, right? And he really rose to fame quickly using shorts. Basically, his content would be snippets on teaching you how to do quick hotkeys on your keyboard. He would teach you how to code little things, and he really seemed like a knowledgeable, cool guy. For some reason, I don't know what went on in his brain, he completely misunderstood the initiative, and he shitted on it. He said it was the worst thing ever, and it was a stupid idea. And this is the point that I really wanted to get to, because I don't understand people like Pirate Software. The guy completely skimmed over the initiative, and I feel like he's a better than thou type of person. He skimmed over the initiative, and because he's this game developer, coder, YouTuber, he felt like he had the authority to shit on it. But the craziest thing is he never even understood the initiative properly and then started spreading false misinformation about it. And I feel like I've never seen a YouTuber's career plummet as fast as this guy, because simultaneously the whole internet started turning against him, all because not because he had that take, all because he would double down and triple down on that take. He refuses to take accountability. I feel like the biggest thing as a public figure, you know, a YouTuber, if you have a base that clearly disagrees with you, you need to be able to understand where they're coming from. And he refuses to do that. I've never seen someone stand on a hill so crazy against something like this. So I'm going to play a few clips of what he said about the whole initiative and how he completely misunderstood what the gaming initiative was even for.
This video came out right as we were building momentum. Then, except for one boost in Germany, the signatures started drying up like clockwork. Thor does not understand what Stop Killing Games is. Here it is in his words.
So for those who don't understand, the Stop Killing Games initiatives is basically, we don't want single-player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single-player games inactive anymore. This is what they want to change. They need to be specific that they're talking about single-player games that do not need a server to support them. And as much as they want it to be about specifically games where it is a single-player game that has always online functionality, it would impact every live service game that exists, instead of just targeting single-player, always online games.
No, that's not what it is. Stop Killing Games includes single-player games, but nothing about it is specific to them. He completely made that up, and I have no idea where he got that impression. It's the first line on the website. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers.
And that's the whole thing right there. Video games that they've sold to customers. So this, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty because I really want to talk about the mind state of Pirate Software and how he completely destroyed his career, or his credibility at least. Maybe his career isn't destroyed. I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. But his credibility has been destroyed ever since this because he never even understood the initiative. He went down to the nitty gritty saying that the whole initiative was about single player games only with no online connection. No, it is in general across the board. Whatever game is going to end and stop being supported, that people have been paying for, that people have paid for, needs to, in some way or another, allow that game to continue existing in the state that it was before they stopped supporting it. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, this guy refuses to see that. And again, I've had some crazy takes in my past before. And, you know, I've issued apologies before, like, you know what, that was probably crazy. You know what, yeah, you know, you guys are probably right. But this guy refuses. He refuses to just simply admit that he was absolutely wrong. It's not even like opinion-based. He was wrong about what he understood about the initiative, and he sticks by it no matter what. Let me show you another clip.
Well, the short version is the initiative is about requiring publishers to have end-of-life plans for games they've sold to customers in the future. So when they shut them down, customers can continue running them without their support. So that's one thing Thor doesn't understand, but he also seems to think this is about converting multiplayer games to single-player.
Transitioning an entire multiplayer server-side game into a single-player video game, which means rebalancing the entire experience around single-player, rebuilding everything in the entire game. How are you going to do that with Final Fantasy XIV? You're just going to make all the raids soloable? Imagine the day that World of Warcraft shuts down, and suddenly you have to make it a single-player game for every individual that ever bought the game. That's what they're asking for.
No.
Because they would have to sunset live service games as a single-player experience. The idea that suddenly you need to make every single live service game.
And that's where he sounds like a jackass, because that's not what they're saying. How are we going to turn a live service game, and let's say, for example, a game like, say, Battlefield dies, right? No longer being supported forever. There should be something that allows gamers to continue playing that even though the company has moved forward. That being giving over the server to somebody or something. Okay, we're not converting already made games into something new. That doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But so he basically sounds like a dumbass here, right? And it's confusing. I'm like, what are you trying to say? Like, why are you creating these things in your whole mind when that's not even what people are talking about? And I feel like that's the biggest thing. Ego is a motherfucker, man. If you're wrong, just admit you're wrong. This guy has lost like 200,000 subscribers over this. 200,000. And he refuses to admit that. He was simply just incorrect about the initiative. Wild shit to me.
If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them.
Oh no! He wheeled out that line about publishers having to support the game forever. He was literally watching the video earlier where it says it won't do that in big letters. That wasn't enough. We just can't stop gamers from going there, even when we spell it out.
And it says right here, what the initiative would not do: require publishers to give up intellectual property rights, require publishers to give up source code, require endless support. So basically what I'm hearing is that the servers would just need to be in the hands of the community, right? No source code, no nothing. But I just wanted to talk about that because I feel like a lot of YouTubers and podcasters, they be like power tripping or something. Like you said some wrong shit. My bad, big dog. I fucked up. This guy, I'm not even going to go into his whole channel, but this guy can't do that. And I used to kind of be a fan, but when that pretentious nature started coming out, it's like, nobody wants to be around that. And I get it. You're feeling yourself here and there once in a while, but this guy has never, he cannot admit that he's wrong about this. And I go to his channel every once in a while. It's imploding. His live stream has like 300 people in it. It used to be like thousands of people in his live stream, but everybody kind of saw him for kind of a fraud. Not to mention that a lot of people started to expose him for not being able to code efficiently. His past doesn't really match up with his work experience. It's just a whole bunch of fraudulent shit. So I feel like this is a lesson for everybody, especially for YouTubers and shit. If you're wrong about something, just say you're wrong and move on. You can't just stand on a hill because you know what? People are going to pile on it and pile on it and pile on it because they know it irritates you. That's what I feel like it is. You know what I mean? But anyways, the Stop Killing Games initiative happened to go through actually because of him. Because everybody started hearing about this and started getting angry about his take, it actually pushed the initiative to 1 million votes, I think it needed, and it could go to the next step now in Europe, apparently. But I just wanted to talk about it because I thought that was just one of the stupidest takes I've seen in a while. But anyways, folks, I'm going to see you real soon. We'll probably play some games later on this evening. Maybe. So look out for that. Second channel, Warriors. I'll be back real soon. Peace.